If your PM work in 2026 still starts with blank PRDs, manual ticket summaries, copy pasting the stakeholder updates one by one, then an AI first product manager is already ahead of you. And that is the harsh truth. Because AI is not just changing that how engineers work, it also changing that how product managers work too. And the PMs who win will not be those who know more frameworks. These will be those who know what to automate, what to review, and where the human judgment is required. But here is where most PMs get it wrong. They are still using AI like a Google search. The real jump happens when you stop asking, can ChatGPT help me write this? To, can we automate this workflow in such a way that it will stop eating my time? And that is a completely different mindset. Simple rule, if a task is repetitive, boring, and creates friction every week, then it is a strong candidate to get automated. And remember this line, AI is a strong labor machine, but it is a weak judgment machine. Your job is to design the operating system, what needs to be automated, what needs to be reviewed by a human, and where human intervention is required. And here are the 5 flows Sumant will be sharing with you that will showcase that how what it looks like.
Hi, this is your coach Sumant Malhotra, and like Sachin mentioned, we are going to go through some n8n workflows now, in which we are going to cover some very common use cases for product managers. And you might end up getting surprised with how capable these tools can be to make you more productive. Let's get started. The first workflow we are going to have a look at is one of my personal favorites, the feedback analyzer. Gone are the days where we used to sit and scrape through thousands of lines of written feedback by various kinds of users, and by manually going through all those crazily written feedback points, we had to figure out a summary of it, right? For every small product within that, right? Yeah, these days we can simply get AI to do that for you. All right, let's see how we can do that. So on your screen right now, what you're seeing is an AI agent which has access to a feedback file. This is the file, right? It contains the text feedback, the sentiment, the source data, etc., etc. All those information about the feedback is being tracked, just like it would be in a regular organization. This is how you will track it in your database as well, right? Now, I'm providing access to all of this to this AI agent, and the AI agent will be powered by GPT 4.1 mini. You can choose a different model as well, it doesn't matter, right? And what job it is supposed to do is it is going to take all that and it is going to scrape through the feedback, summarize it, and provide a 2-line summary for the feedback for all the things that are present in here. And remember, this is not about just one single product. In fact, the name of the product is not even there. These can be about various things. For example, the IMDb reviews would be obviously about movies. The Yelp reviews would obviously about, well, books. The Spotify reviews would probably be about music and etc. Right? So it is going to create a summary of all that and it is going to write it right here in this file. Okay, so let's run the workflow and see it happen. All right, so it is now looping it over, and as you can notice, it is now writing all of that here. For example, the IMDb reviews have been consolidated and summarized into 2 lines. The movies are predominantly lauded as fantastic. Minor concern was raised about confusing or hard to follow plot. Pretty awesome, right? Yes. The same method can be applied for direct product names and their reviews as well. Because we didn't have product names, these reviews are for a, well, generic movie product. But if we had the product names available as well, right? In that case, you would have seen the names of the product here. Pretty awesome, right? Yes, saves you so much time. These were, pretty good enough long list of customer feedbacks. Like what we had, around 100 odd feedbacks. Scale it up to 1,000, scale it up to even 10,000, doesn't matter, because AI will still read through it fast, still summarize it fast, and still give you results pretty fast. Yes, pretty awesome, right? Yeah. Let's look at another way in which you can leverage AI, right? So when we are building our PRDs, there is a pretty high chance that we have to think and research through a lot of content. After that, only we get to understand, okay, what's happening, and then we go ahead and get something written down in let's say our documents, right? So we have to basically do all that part ourselves. But it would be pretty awesome if, let's say, we can get AI to do that job for us, isn't it? Yes. So that is exactly what we are going to do. What we are going to do is we are going to enter an idea, a product idea to the AI, and the AI is going to do the research for us. AI is going to generate the PRD draft for us, and AI would actually give feedback on the PID draft another AI had written earlier. Yes, that would be awesome, right? So let's get this started. I'm just going to execute this workflow. Let's give it a problem statement. How about a dating extension for Facebook? Huh? Anyway, the whole world is there, so why not? Dating app extension for Facebook. All right. You can give other details if you have, like target user, business goals, success metric, etc. But for now, I'm just going to keep it open. So let's see. Now, what's happening is a PID generator agent is taking the inputs that I provided, doing its own research on the internet, and is drafting a PID right here. Once the PID is generated, it will be passed to the next AI agent, which is going to play the role of a skeptical engineer, right? And just like a skeptical engineer in real life, it is going to go through the PID and come up with its own concerns, queries, questions, doubts, snide comments, etc. Right? Those, all of that, in fact, will be then sent to us and it will start showing up right here in this doc where the PID will be written here and the engineering feedback will be written here. Okay, so let's see when that happens. It's taking its own sweet time. Okay, any minute now, right? It's writing the engineering feedback right now. Okay, once it is done, you will see it automatically getting updated in this Excel file. By the way, I've used the Google Sheet as an example, like you see here, but you can do that input. Basically, you can paste all the content that was generated by AI in any Google Doc, Notion, whichever, it doesn't matter. Okay. Anyway, so here's the PID. It contains a lot of details. The problem definition, objective, why is this important now, the problem context, JDBDs, solutions, their pros and cons, detailed product flow, edge cases, analytics, event planning, tracking, success metrics, constraints, even FAQs. Pretty awesome. Yes, this is actually being powered by the template of PRD I provided to AI in the prompt itself. That's why. Okay. Next, let's look at the feedback. Okay, so the skeptical engineer says that technical enforcement of privacy and data segregation is a concern because given Facebook's history, users will be highly skeptical about their data privacy. No comments there. Scalable trust and safety infrastructure, robust age verification. This is not an edge case, it's a foundational legal criticality, right? I mean, you're on a dating platform. If there is no age verification, well, it can lead to underage users also being on the platform, which is, well, technically illegal, right? So that can be catastrophic. And long-term strategic alignment and monetization. So these are some concerns that have been raised by an engineer. And very similar to this, you could have actually gone and created another box just like this for a designer, for a sales guy, etc. And then feed all of that into the Google Sheet just like this. Yes. Pretty awesome again, right? Saves you a lot of time. Yes. Let's look at another use case. Many times we have some data present with us. For example, let's say this data that is from a sample superstore. It's a online superstore, and what I have in this sheet is transaction level data for that particular superstore, right? So as an analyst or as a PM, I might be required to go through this and come up with some insights about it, right? So I can do it the old-fashioned way, and I can actually write the formulas and start analyzing. Or what I can do is I can just feed it into an AI. Yes, the data analyst AI. It will have access to the same Google Sheet, and I'm just going to ask it a question, right? For example, let's give it something like provide in fact, analyze and provide the most important metrics for the owner of this superstore. Okay, I'm just going to keep it very, very open, right? Let AI only figure out what are the right metrics. Okay, so let's see. Now, this analyst is going to provide me information. Another AI agent is going to write a report about these metrics, and then based on that, it is going to be written in an HTML format, and an email will be sent to me. Now, let's see if I have received that email. I seem to have received an email, and there you go. Some average sales, average profit, sales, average profit, etc. All of that has been generated into graphs, pie chart, bar chart, etc. And it has a summary of all that as well. Yes. If you wanted, you could have actually given it a prompt or sent something else here as well, and it would calculate that for you as well. The idea is simple. You can generate graphs, charts, anything and everything that you want, and you can get an email sent to you. So imagine the applications, right? If you have your data getting generated on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, and you don't want to do that repetitive analysis yourself, you can simply create an automation like this, which will automatically take in a feed of that data, generate all the summary for you, and send it to you in an email. Will save you so much time. In fact, you can automate this, and the next step wherein the same summary is formatted into a proper update format and sent to stakeholders as well. Wouldn't that be awesome? Yes, pretty good. All right, let's look at something else now. A very, very common use case for product managers is, let's say you have a product launch coming up, right? And you have a product launch brief just like this for this hypothetical product called as Flow, right? Now, based on this product brief, you might be expected to write stakeholder notes, release notes, FAQ documents, internal stakeholder update, etc., etc. There's so many documents and shenanigans that we have to hold, right? What if there was an AI that could help us build all that based on just this doc, right? That's what we're going to learn. So we have a multi-update agent or agents. What they are going to do is they're going to get the same product brief doc that I showed to you, this one, right? And what these agents are going to do is each one is going to take that document, and it is going to create its own version of doc that we want. Like this one is for internal updates. There is another one for FAQs. There is another one for support notes. You can have similar agents created for release notes, for sales guys, etc., etc. Okay, so let's run this, and what's going to happen once this is run. We are going to see those documents getting written in this Google Sheet, right? Again, like I mentioned earlier, it doesn't have to be in a Google Sheet. You can have separate documents, Notion docs, etc., getting created as well. That upload, it's up to you. I'm just simplifying it by adding it into a Google Sheet. That's it. Okay. So let's run this and see what happens. Okay. So now the agents are actually writing this, and when they are done, it is going to update this document. So we'll just give it a minute for AI to get finished up, right? And once it's done, we should be able to see those documents being written here into each individual cell. There you go, right? So from that product brief, now I have an internal update email draft ready. I have the FAQ section, like what makes Flow different from others, how does the smart timer work, can I use ambient sound, etc. Pretty good FAQs as well, right? And then a support notes, like what are the top 5 anticipated tickets, right? Okay, for example, adaptive timer is not personalizing, the Notion sync integration is failing, limited focus sounds library, data loss, etc., etc. Similarly, some tips for the support team, like please don't promise them home screen widgets and all. Last thing PMs want is support and sales team promising the moon to the customers, which we don't have the capacity for building in the next few months, right? So, escalation contacts and all the necessary details that we would require as PMs, they have all been covered by AI. Depends on the prompt, of course, right? If your prompt is good, then the result that you get will also be good. But check out the prompt. Like for support, this was the prompt I gave. I asked you to provide product snapshot of I am anticipated tickets, something like this. Do not promise, escalation contacts, etc. Right? This is the way in which you can generate all these documents in a jiffy. Right? All right, one more. One more use case, and another very common use case is when you go into meetings with your team and you end up having to write the meeting notes yourself. Minutes of the meeting is a big pain, right? And then you have to keep reviewing it and getting them approved, assigning tasks to people. What if there was an agent who could just look at the transcript of the meeting, come up with the task, come up with the owners of the task, attach the due dates to it, and send that email to all the stakeholders? Wouldn't that be awesome? Yes, that is also something you can do with n8n. For example, check this out. What I've done is I've taken a meeting transcript here. Okay. Where you get this transcript is up to you. You can have another agent that records the audio of your meeting, and based on that audio, this transcript gets in. It's just basic, text to sorry, speech to text transcription, right? You can have agents doing that for you separately. Anyway, the scope of this workflow is to take this transcript and convert it into meeting notes. Okay. So this is the transcript which has some users from, or the people from a product squad, product pod, whatever you want to call it, the Scrum team, Priya, Dev, Sara, Leela, etc., or Lena, Marcus, etc. So this transcript is now being fed into an agent, which is going to summarize this into owners, specific things. Like I'll give you a quick look at it. It will tell you the tasks, the decisions, the action items, the owners of that action item, due date, open questions, etc. Right? It is going to convert all of that then into an HTML format, and then it is going to send it to me in an email. Want to check this out? Let's run this workflow and see what happens. Okay. Now an email has been sent to me. Let's see if that email has arrived. There you go. So these are the meeting notes for today's date. And look at this. The summary of the meeting, the key decisions that were there, the action items, and the owners of each action item, along with their due date, some open questions, some next steps, etc. Pretty awesome again, right? What if I tell you that even after these 5 workflows that I've showed to you, right? What if I tell you that we have still only scratched the surface of what is possible through n8n, right? It's important for us to know that while all these workflows are pretty empowering, uh, we can build much, much, much more complex workflows than this, right? So let's see what Sachin has to say about that, right? See you in the next one.
Now, the biggest mistake that people make here, they build some small AI toys, some small chatbots, small summarizers, and wonder why that nobody cares. If your workflow does not solve the real repetitive pain of a product manager, then nobody will care. And one more thing, do not make AI magical. AI can hallucinate, it can miss the context, and it can also say something wrong and still being confident. And every serious workflow needs human review before it gets live. And that is not a weakness, that is the workflow design. And your value is in not just using AI, your value is in designing an operating model that work without failure. And if you are breaking into product management role, then think that what all opportunities this can unlock. Imagine that you are saying in an interview that you have built a workflow that turns your user feedback into an actionable product insight. And that is a proof, not just certificate, not just resume line, real workflow, real judgment. And that will make you stand out in 2026. And the one last thing, the goal is not to let AI do your job. It is to make AI capable enough that it will do the labor work instead of you, so that you will focus on more real PM work, more judgment, more prioritization, more decision quality. And AI removes labor work, not judgments. If you want a full AI playbook to transition into the product management role, the link is in the description. And if you are serious about moving into a product management role, an AI PM role, then in that case, book a demo call by clicking the link in the description, and we will create a personalized game plan for you to land into PM role and AI PM role in just 5 to 6 months of time.